Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's up, my brothers and sisters? Welcome back to the third episode of the Unlocking Excellence podcast. I'm your host, your main man, Eric Schwefel, Coach E, coming at you with some good lessons today. Now, if you didn't get a chance to join us for the first two, please go ahead and check those out. They were pretty good, right? So an intro, and then we defined what unlocking excellence, about what excellence was, is, shall be for you, right? Now, the next thing, we're defining excellence. We're looking at what it looks like, and we're going to get a little bit deeper today with a few of the things that we're going to talk about, because we need to talk about these things. We need to make sure that you understand where you're coming from when you're doing these things in excellence, right? Now, one might argue, well, we're doing them from a place of excellence. And it's true. Yes, you could be doing this from a place of excellence, but we want to check out a few different things. We want to make sure, right, that you're not just interested in this, but it's something that you actually want to do, something that you're committed to doing. And then we want to make sure, right, where are you coming from with all of this? What is your inner stance in achieving excellence or your goal or whatever it might be? So I'm looking forward to talking to you a little bit more about this and diving in, because we are about to have a great freaking episode uncovering and unlocking your excellence. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, so what do I mean by where do you come from? Now, this is kind of a loaded question, but who are you? What is your identity? Who are you? What would you say if somebody was to say, who are you? What would you tell them? Would you describe your job? Would you describe some experiences that you have? Would you describe your body? You know, I'm a 6 foot tall, dark hair, brown eyed, 215-pound man who owns his own business. Would you say that you are a spiritual being living in a physical world? Would you say that you're pure, unadulterated consciousness? Would you say that you're a scared little kid? What would you say if somebody asked you who you were, what your identity would be? It's an interesting question, right? It's to think about, because maybe not many are actually asked this question in their lifetime. So the reason I ask that is because of the next question, right? Is, where are you coming from? Where do you operate from? Where is it? Is it a place of love? Is it a place of service? Is it a place of gratitude? Is it a place of fear? Is it a place of insecurity? Is it a place of doubt where you question yourself? Is it guilt? Is it resentment? It can be anything. It can be more than what I listed here. But whenever you are pursuing excellence, whenever you're unlocking excellence, one of the things to check out and to be aware of is where you're operating from in life. Now, this is where we're getting deep with stuff, right? So if you don't already know, you were raised by those who didn't really, maybe didn't actually know what was going on and what they were doing. So with that, you may have picked up some bad habits. You may have picked up some unhealthy habits, some unhealthy thoughts, some unhealthy beliefs, some things that you might think about that aren't necessarily true, different insights, right? Not because these people, your parents, your role models, your people of authority in your life, not because they were doing this out of malice, but they were operating from the place where they knew what was best, or what they thought was best for you and for themselves. So they were acting in their best interest and in your best interest. But what may have happened during that time is they may have passed on some ineffective things. And sometimes we don't even realize it, but those ineffective habits, we make them part of our identity. We make them part of who we think we are. Maybe we're a non-exerciser. Maybe we've become a smoker. Maybe we think that we can't make enough money, or we're not athletic, or there's no way that I can do this thing because of who you think you are. Wow. right? There's so many things that we can limit ourselves from experiencing because of who we think we are. There's so many things that we prevent ourselves from experiencing because of who we think we are. There's so many more things that we could do if we just remembered who we actually are. So, who is it that you are, right? What is your identity? Where is it that you come from? I want to tell you a quick story, right? For most of my life, I thought that I was coming from a place of strength, that I was coming from a place of courage. And many of the time I actually was, right? And in these last few years, as I've started a business and I've gone through what I've gone through, these different experiences, I've thought to myself, you're coming from a place of service. Somebody once asked me what was my word, and I'll go more into that in a different episode, but what was my word? And my word was service, because I wanted to impact people. I wanted to remain humble and help people become the greatest version of themselves. But then after a few years, after being asked that question myself, where do you operate from? I realized that a lot of where I operated from was from fear and insecurity, right? Fear and insecurity, because I didn't want certain things to happen. I would act in a certain, I would act in a certain way. Because I don't want this to happen, I must act like this. Well, that's acting out of fear because I'm afraid, and I don't want something to happen because I'm afraid of what it might mean about me or it might mean about somebody else in my life. So then I began to think about it. It's like, wow, where have I made choices out of fear and insecurity? Where have I made choices from this disempowered mindset and this disempowered stance? And y'all, it's crazy, but it came from a bunch of different places. It was all over the place. I made choices that related to money, that related to my relationships, that related to business in and of itself, out of fear and insecurity, when I thought that it was actually made from a place of service, that it was made from a place of love or gratitude or strength or whatever it may have been at that time. So when I exposed myself to this reflective process, I realized, like, wow, my world is completely different than what I may have actually wanted it to be, that I may have wanted it to become. And it was all from unconscious, from making decisions from an unconscious place. Crazy, right? So when you think about it, if you're making these decisions from fear and insecurity, and I'm not much of an either or person, but in this case, making a decision from a place that's going to benefit me or a place that's going to keep me where I'm at in a comfortable zone where I don't really want to be, it would be better to take that stance and to make that decision from the place of making it beneficial. However, sometimes the fear is just so great that we would rather stay stuck where we are because we're familiar with it. You see, y'all, it's not always about taking action. It's not always about doing what we think we know. It's about getting out of our comfort zone and doing the thing that we know is best and most effective for us. What is he saying here? You see, people don't get frustrated about what they're not capable of doing. People get frustrated over what they are capable of doing and are still choosing comfort over action. They choose comfort over commitment, the commitment to do what is required. See, you can choose how to behave regardless of how you feel, y'all. When you feel uncomfortable doing something, it means that you have the opportunity to grow. And growth does not occur in the land of comfort. We're talking about getting out of our comfort zones here, about who we think we are, and questioning that as to the intention behind our actions and the intention behind who we're being on a day-to-day basis. Because if you choose to act from a place of, I'm getting this shit done no matter what, you're going to get this shit done no matter what, whether it's exercising or losing the weight, if it's getting that new job or getting that relationship or making more money, when you come from the place of this is going to happen, this is what I'm committed to by this time, then you're going to make it happen. You are going to make it happen. I had a client who had trouble and was complaining about losing weight, y'all, for 6 months. 6 months she was stagnant. And then finally she said, you know what? I'm taking this into my own hands. She started watching what she ate. She got herself, we got her on a meal. Well, she got herself, she had to decide, right? She got herself on the meal plan. She started following it. And in 3 weeks, she lost 9 pounds. She couldn't do it for 6 months, but in 3 weeks, she finally did it because she made the choice to get committed to herself. So who are you? Are you somebody that's committed? Are you somebody that's not committed? Are you somebody who is honest with yourself or somebody who's not honest with yourself? See, I'm not normally a big either or person, but in this case, we need to define, we need to have the boundaries. We need to have those guardrails in place so that we can stay structured on the path. It's all it's about, y'all. Keeping and working in a structure while you're on this path in order to continue moving forward despite the obstacles and the setbacks. So, who are you? Where is it that you operate from? Think about that. Reflect on that, because it's a big thing, y'all. When you choose to operate from an empowered stance that no matter what, you can keep moving forward. You're going to have a positive mindset. You're going to be kind. You're going to be a gracious person. You're going to be humble. You're going to be tested. And if you're interested in changing, you're going to fail. But if you're committed to changing, the change will be long-term, it will be sustainable, and it's going to last forever. Maybe not forever, but you know what I mean, until we die. Until it's acted upon by an outside force. Newton's third law of motion, right? Or maybe it was his first. I think it was the first. So y'all remember, where is it that you're coming from? How do you identify? Do you identify as somebody who gets defeated easily? Do you identify as somebody who, when they get knocked down, they stay down for a long time and they pout and they whine and they just allow other people to define their life, make decisions for them, they give their power away? Or are you somebody who makes decisions, stands firm in those decisions, delegates what they aren't really that great at, they stick to their strengths, and they keep moving forward no matter what? Choose where you operate. You choose where you operate from. We were given tools and we were given certain experiences, but at one point or another, and I think most of the world has agreed that it's 18 years old, right? You've got to start making those decisions for yourself and stop blaming others. Because when you start taking that responsibility, everything changes. So y'all, to end this podcast, what's the takeaway? It is to examine who you are. Take some time, journal that out, examine who you are. What is it that you're about? Where do you operate from? Spend some time in that. You can look at physical, mental, emotional, environmental, spiritual, money. You can look at all those different fields, especially the ones that just call to you, right? And start examining, what are your beliefs there? Who do you identify? What do you identify with in that particular realm? And you might find some things that are super surprising. You might find some things that weren't surprising at all. But then what do you do from there? I guess you'll have to keep listening to find out. So have a great day. I love you. I hope you realize that you're unstoppable. And I hope that I just gave you another key into unlocking your excellence. Have a great day. If you need to contact me, send me an email at eric@schwefelstrength.com, or you can reach me out on Facebook or Instagram. I'm on all those. So have a great day, and we'll talk soon. I love you. Peace.